Austin Andrews here with your beacon. Today we're taking a look at Joe Biden pardoning Hunter Biden. Joe Biden has just signed a pardon for all crimes that Hunter Biden may have or did commit since 2014. Now, for much of the last year, Joe Biden, President of the United States, and his spokesperson for the White House, Biden's seat of power, have been very clear that Joe Biden would not impede the Justice Department as they convicted Joe's son, Hunter. Then Joe went on the record, as did his White House spokesperson, stating that Joe Biden would not pardon his son. In June, ABC's David Muir interviewed Joe Biden, and they spoke about a wide range of topics, including Hunter Biden's trial. Here's what Joe Biden stated about pardons at the time.
As we sit here in Normandy, your son Hunter is on trial, and I know that you cannot speak about an ongoing federal prosecution. But let me ask you, will you accept the jury's outcome, their verdict, no matter what it is?
Yes.
And have you ruled out a pardon for your son?
Yes.
You have.
Of course, at the time, Joe Biden was still running for president. He had not faced Donald Trump in their debate, which would come a couple weeks later, and Joe had not exited the race, as he would eventually do in July. After Joe's exit of the race, Karine Jean-Pierre was asked if Joe Biden would still not pardon his son, Hunter Biden, and this is one of the many times she answered that question.
For several weeks, the White House has said multiple times that the president was not going to leave the race. He ultimately did. You've also said several times that the president would not pardon or commute the sentences for his son, Hunter. I just want to make sure that that is not going to change over the next 6 months. The president's saying he would not.
It's still a no. It's still a no.
It will always be a no.
It's still a no. It will be a no. It is a no, and I don't have anything else to add. Will he pardon his son? No.
So, with that, the White House and the president's office was clear. Clearly lying. On Sunday evening, Joe Biden released a lengthy statement reading, quote, "Today I signed a pardon for my son Hunter. From the day I took office, I said I would not interfere with the Justice Department's decision-making, and I kept my word even as I have watched my son being selectively and unfairly prosecuted. Without aggravating factors like use in a crime, multiple purchases, or buying a weapon as a straw purchaser, people are almost never brought to trial on felony charges solely for how they filled out a gun form. Those who were late paying their taxes because of serious addictions, but paid them back subsequently with interest and penalties are typically given non-criminal resolutions. It is clear that Hunter was treated differently. The charges in this case came about only after several of my political opponents in Congress instigated them to attack me and oppose my election. Then a carefully negotiated plea deal agreed to by the Department of Justice unraveled in the courtroom with a number of my political opponents in Congress taking credit for bringing political pressure on the process. Had the plea deal held, it would have been a fair, reasonable resolution of Hunter's cases. No reasonable person who looks at the facts of Hunter's cases can reach any other conclusion than Hunter was singled out only because he is my son, and that is wrong. There has been an effort to break Hunter, who has been 5.5 years sober, even in the face of unrelenting attacks and selective prosecution. In trying to break Hunter, they've tried to break me, and there's no reason to believe it will stop here. Enough is enough." End quote. Claims of prejudice, pressure, signaling out, and blowing up of plea deals, these are all the words of a father in power, not a leader of the free world. Now, what Joe Biden left out of this statement were the ways that Hunter Biden had received benefits from Joe's position. The Justice Department sat on evidence for extended periods of time, allowing certain crimes to go out of date. The Justice Department then negotiated a plea deal that did not just magically blow up in the court due to pressure from Congress. It blew up in court because the judge realized that the text of the plea deal meant that Hunter Biden was pleading out of all charges that were not even part of the case in front of the judge. The plea deal was a sweetheart deal that would protect Hunter in ways no other private citizen in the United States would have been protected. Special treatment for Hunter Biden. Now, is it all that wild that Joe Biden lied and then pardoned his son? No. It isn't surprising, which is why the question was asked of the Biden White House a dozen times in the last 6 months. In fact, it's more than a dozen. What is interesting about the pardon is its language. As I read Joe Biden's statement about the pardon, it talks about the charges surrounding Hunter lying on a federal gun form that took place in 2018. Hunter Biden also faced tax evasion for the years 2016 through 2018. These are the cases that led to Hunter Biden being convicted and serving jail time and possible prison time. And in Joe's statement, these are the two convictions he mentions being unfair for Hunter. But in the pardon documentation, it states that the pardon is, quote, for those offenses against the United States which he has committed or may have committed or taken part in during the time from January 1st, 2014 through December 1st, 2024, including but not limited to all offenses charged or prosecuted, including any that have resulted in convictions by special counsel David C. Weiss, end quote. Why begin the date in 2014 when the tax evasion begins in 2016 and the gun felony was 2018? Hunter Biden began working for their Ukrainian gas corporation Burisma in 2014. His father oversaw foreign aid to Ukraine in 2014. There are allegations of Burisma asking for special treatment from Joe Biden, the vice president at the time, and that those requests happened through Hunter. There are allegations of millions of dollars being paid to the Biden family through Hunter Biden that led to Joe Biden pressuring the Ukrainian government to fire a prosecutor who was trying to nail Burisma, his son's employer at the time. Corruption is the name of the game. Hunter Biden was just pardoned for all crimes that he committed, may have committed, or taken part in, and the dates included point to a potential cover-up of the Biden family's benefits during the Obama presidential years. I'm Austin Andrews, and I'll see you on the next report.